Hi everyone. If you are on track with where you're supposed to be on your Where I'm From poem, you should have a rough draft done. The rough draft should be at least as long as the original version, represent a lot of different ideas from your life, of parts of your identity, things that make you who you are, and it should be have some good details in it. And what I want to do is have you share your poem with at least two other people so they can give you some feedback on it. When you open this week's folder, you're going to see a link to an assignment that says Poem Editor Feedback. That's what you're going to click on, and even though it's an assignment for you, actually somebody else is going to have to do this for you. You're going to have to pull up your poem and then also pull up this assignment. So you're probably going to have two windows open, and these are the questions that they're going to answer for you. Now, if you're looking at these questions and you think, whoa, I didn't do that, and you want to work on your poem a little bit longer on your own first, that would probably be wise. If you feel pretty strongly that your poem is going to get close to meeting these expectations, then that means that you'd be ready to get a peer editor. And a peer editor could be a classmate, a brother or sister whose editing opinion you trust. They're old enough to do that. It could be an uncle, a neighbor, a parent, grandparent, aunt, uncle, somebody who you think could give you some good advice. So here are some of the questions. Does the writing look like a poem? It should look like a poem with spacing, and not because it doesn't like start at the beginning and go all the way to the end and then go back to the beginning. Poets use spacing to create pauses in their writing, so there should be some intentional spacing. Second question, does a poem use repetition but have a variety of line starters like the original? Now the original I have linked right here actually. So if you remember, it has things like I am from, it says I am from, sometimes, looks like about every other line. Some of the lines start with from, or maybe it's a continuation of a previous line. So you should have a mixture of I am from or from. Sometimes it might have and if it's a continuation of a line. So you should have some repetition but not be the exact same on every single line. Is the poem at least as long as the original? Although I don't have a rule on how long it should be, you're going to be graded on if you have a lot of different variety of details. So if it's not long enough, it's hard to get a variety of details. That's the next question. Does the poem cover a lot of different topics that represent the author's identity? I took a peek at some people's rough draft, and it was a lot of lines, but it only talked about one thing. Like the whole thing was baseball, which that's not what the assignment is. That's kind of cool, but it's not what the assignment is. Do the lines make sense to you? Can you tell what the author is describing? I think even in the original, if I were to be giving feedback to the original author, I would ask her what some of them meant. So it's okay if you don't understand, but the author needs to know that, or don't worry about if somebody says that they don't understand. You just need to add some more details. Does the author use a lot of vivid imagery using the five senses? And I list them here. Does the author use things that are said aloud as a detail like the original author? The original author did that right here, from perk up and pipe down. Now this author used capitalization and an exclamation point. You can do that, or you can also use quotations, but do something to set it aside, because if you don't, it's confusing. Does the author correctly use capitalization? And I really want to emphasize I or I'm should always be capitalized, and also proper nouns. Any products. So in mine it was Tame, Detangler, and Suave, but I saw people write things like Legos and Minecraft and Little League Swinger or whatever it might be. Those have to be capitalized. Then also the usage and the spelling. And then they're going to write down what their favorite line is in the poem. Do that twice, and then you're going to take that feedback and make improvements. And tomorrow we will talk about that. Good luck.